Welcome to Jesus Christ Prison Ministry and another video Bible study. Our topic, the book of John, the denial, part 6. This is based on John 18:33 through 40. So Pilate went back to the governor's quarters, summoned Jesus and asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus replied, "Are you asking this on your own initiative, or did others tell you about me?" We have the same problem today. Many talk about Jesus as king, or Messiah, or God. But few are asking the question because they actually want to know. Usually there is a hidden agenda for their question, but it has nothing to do with truth or changing their lives. Pilate replied, "I am not a Jew, am I? It is your own nation and high priest who have handed you over to me. What have you done?" Pilate wasn't interested in truth. He was looking for a way out. He needed some excuse to legally justify handing him back over to the Jews or letting him go. He had other more important things to do. His weekend plans were being interrupted and he was not pleased. "So let's hurry this along so I can get out of town." Jesus answered, "My kingdom does not belong to this world. If my kingdom belonged to this world, my servants would fight to keep me from being handed over to the Jews. But for now, my kingdom is not from here." Now we have a problem. King of the Jews? That's one thing. But a true king with a real kingdom? That now becomes a problem for the Roman Empire. Pilate now has to take this seriously. This is no longer just a religious annoyance. The Roman emperor might not like having a real king disturbing the kingdom. Pilate asked him, "So you are a king?" Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. I was born for this, and I came into the world for this, to testify to the truth. Everyone who is committed to the truth listens to my voice." Pilate is thinking, what kind of king is this? Pilate is used to making judgments, but rarely were they done according to truth. No, there was always something more, like money, power, politics, and whatever else would bring glory to him. Now he is confronted with something far more terrifying than anything he has ever come up against: truth. Should he listen to the voice of Jesus? Are you listening to the voice of Jesus? Or are you listening to the voices of your church and society? Keep in mind, Jesus said he came into this world to teach truth. Very few churches are actually teaching the truth Jesus taught. Pilate asked him, "What is truth?" After he said this, he went out to the Jews again and told them, "I find no basis for a charge against him." The Spirit of God was striving with Pilate. What should he do? Should he actually rule for truth and justice? That would be very problematic for his political future. He needs an escape. The leaders want Jesus out of the way. But the people, as far as Pilate had heard, were in love with him. After all, it had been less than a week since the people had paraded Jesus into Jerusalem shouting acclamations in his honor. Jesus had healed their sick, cured their diseases, and raised the dead. Maybe by appealing to the people, he will be able to assuage his conscience and let Jesus go. "But you have a custom that I release one person for you at Passover. Do you want me to release for you the King of the Jews?" What justice! Let's not release an innocent person. No, let us have a custom whereby we simply release someone we want, someone who pacifies the mob. At this they shouted out again, "Not this fellow, but Barabbas!" Now Barabbas was a revolutionary. Barabbas means Jeshua, son of Abba. Now the people had a real choice. They could pick Jesus, who was the real Jeshua, the Son of God, or they could pick Jeshua, son of Abba, a revolutionary. Barabbas was a murderer. He was one who was helping the Jews get their freedom from the Romans. What did Jesus do? Nothing of the sort. Jesus was going around talking about freedom from sin. He actually taught people to turn the other cheek and live in obedience to the Roman authority. What if this imaginary heaven wasn't real after all? Barabbas was going around talking about freedom from the Romans and setting up a real Jewish kingdom. He was a real man, a real fighter for the church. Okay, we choose Barabbas. Today, most people are choosing Barabbas and their churches. When it came right down to it, our actions speak way louder than our sitting in church. Everything we do is about choosing Barabbas in this world. We may espouse our beliefs in heaven, church, doctrine, and Jesus. But when it comes right down to it, we choose this real world over the imaginary heaven every time. Barabbas would have been flogged, beaten, whipped, scourged, and crucified. Jesus took his place. Jesus was living out his belief system. There was no imaginary heaven in his thinking. He believed and was willing to die for that belief. Are you? Thank you for joining JCPM and Jesus Christ for another video Bible study.